So why is it that there are many websites for parents with special kids in need? As it is very difficult to find a good babysitter for parents, but this can be even more difficult for parents with special kids in need. These babysitters can often be very hesitant to take care of these kids with intensive necessities, so these parents rely on family or friends to take care of these kids for the lack of trust on babysitters. Hello, we are Sbs Industries providing secure babysitting services. I am Aileen, I am the CEO and CTO.
I'm Andrea, I'm the Secretary and CMO.
And I'm Luis, and I'm the CFO.
Our solution is a babysitting website for kids with special needs where parents are able to find suitable and reliable babysitters that fit their child's necessities. This is our customer segment. We are targeting parents who work full-time from the ages of 25 to 40.
So now we're going to move on to our landing page. This is where both the babysitters and the parents will log on to when they open our app. We're having some technical difficulties. So a rundown of what the landing page will look like is a page where both parents and babysitters will log on to. They will provide information like their name and email, and at the bottom they will provide if they are a parent or babysitter and what they are giving to us. They will sign in and it will take them to a thank you page where they will be notified for further information when the website is fully developed. So for our ad flow, this would be our video, but it's also not working right now. It
explains a little bit of how we're going to do our website. It's images about our babysitting and what kind of babysitters go through. It kind of just shows a rundown over everything, how babysitters struggle and how parents struggle and how we're here to help.
So to give these parents the security for these babysitters, we will be doing monthly background checks on each babysitter that decides to join our website. And for our customer segments, how we will be getting our customers is by showing our ad and making awareness of these services. The way we will be keeping our customers is keeping daily updates and daily experiences of babysitters through our social media and our website account. How we will grow these customers is by starting events that we will host and fund for special intuitions and spread awareness of these kids with special necessities.
So our success is knowing that every special needs child is taken fully care of, and parents can work full time knowing that their child is in good hands. So for our prices, we'll have a monthly service of $6.99, with the mobile app costing to 99 cents. Babysitters will also charge at their own range, and parents will pay babysitters accordingly. So for our market size, for our TAM, we got roughly $112 million. For our SAM, we got roughly $13.4 million, and a market share of $446,000, and a percentage of 24.67%, and a conversion rate of 3.33%. So for our startup costs, we would kindly ask for $69,100 due to the fact that we need money for market research, legal fees, marketing and advertising, employee wages, insurances, transportation, as well as coding, servers, and background checks for babysitters. For a timeline with a working ad flow, we would estimate that we would make up to $892,000, and by year 2, we would estimate that we would make up to $1.3 million, and by year 3, we would estimate that we would make up to about $1.7 million.
Once again, we are Sbs Industries providing secure babysitting services to you. Thank you for your time.
I might start off. Nobody else wants to. So first of all, I think it's a really interesting idea. I like the tagline. I like the logo. I don't like business name. Sbs Industries sounds like you could manufacture anything from cranes to tanker ships to providing babysitting services for children with special needs. So I think that there may, I would define, I understand, through the branding, it's secure babysitters. That's the SBS. So maybe even SBS. I would play with the branding a little bit, and I would change it to make it less industrial, literally, and a little bit more touchy-feely, a little bit more softer to match your branding on your slides. I mean, your slides, they make me think of kids, they make me think of a fun, caring environment, positive colors, brightness. SBS Industries as a title, to me, doesn't match the product being offered. I think it's a really well-defined need. If you've ever spent any time with children, with parents of children with special needs, you get it in terms of why this might be different, why there's a need to have babysitters who are really either highly trained or are specially oriented towards children with special needs. I'd spend some more time explaining that problem. If you don't necessarily understand that situation, you may think a conventional babysitter is going to be totally appropriate, and I don't really get what differentiates you from any other babysitting caring service. Because I think that there are really specific examples that you can cite as to why someone who has been trained how to deal with kids with autism might be a little bit, it's going to be more appropriate. And as a point, I'll get the economics around this a little bit later, that is special and that is unique, and that's the form of differentiation. Our providers have this training and have this experience. Again, I'm seeing this a lot on the platform plays. We have supply side and we have a demand side. And what I mean by that is supply side, we are the ones that are supplying you with the folks that are actually going to do the babysitting, but we also have to generate the demand from the parents. I see that a little easier. If parents know that they can trust the platform and trust the providers, then that demand is there, but it's making sure that the people who are actually carrying out these services are trustworthy, and that's the most important thing. As a parent with young kids, I want to make sure I can trust the person who's in my home with my children. And I know you talked about monthly background checks. I'd also see, there might be an educational component here. So you've got the providers, and one of the things I could see highlighting is their experience. Either they have worked with children in the past, or they have special training, or they're taking even curriculum that we're providing, so that we're licensing them as an autism specialist, or whatever that looks like. But there may be an element there to actually sell an additional service to the provider. So if you're just an ordinary babysitter and you'd like to work with children with special needs, or perhaps you have a little bit of training, there's curriculum there that we can offer you that's going to bolster your profile and your visibility and make it even more desirable to parents who have this need. But again, it comes down to the specific training they have, or even hours long. I think the review component is going to be huge. The customer testimonials that you get from the parents who allow these people into their homes, absolutely critical. And that's going to be a way of ranking these people in terms of, Stacy's really good. She's serviced 50 clients. She gets 5 stars. These are her specialties. She's taken these curriculums. She's one of our gold star providers. And anyway, there's a way to differentiate that. I don't think anybody pays 99 cents anymore unless it's a game for an app. And that's a personal opinion. I just don't think that's the route. The app itself is free, and I think the subscription fee, that's not particularly compelling either, because candidly, I think it's too low. I think $7 a month, it needs to be more than that. You can't even get Netflix for $7 a month. I would move away from the subscription model altogether, and I would focus more on it being a portion of the revenue that is generated on each transaction from babysitter and parent. So whether you're taking 10 or 15%, that'd be variable, but the point is we are the ones that are providing you, the parent, with these high-quality, vetted professionals that are going to be in your home, and that's worth a little bit of money. On the provider side, we're the ones that are acting as this platform of trust. We're training you in some element that makes you even more valuable, so we're going to take a little bit of that cut as well. So the idea of you, as a provider, having to give up 10 or 15% fee on the platform, I think is a more attractive model than trying to charge them $7 a month. Because what will end up happening is I will just go direct to that provider, and Stacy will become my guaranteed person, and we'll move off the platform, and I will just deal with her or him directly, and that will be it. And I'll save myself the $7. So anyway, I think it's a really great idea. I think the need is there. I think you're off to a good start.
Thank you.
I love the idea. Absolutely do. The things that are concerning to me and are the security and background checks. You had it up there, which is great. I believe it's at $100 for background checks. I used to own a live scan business, and so I know how much it costs to get a live scan. I also know that you have to do an FBI background check and a DOJ, which is Department of Justice background check. You have to do a live scan for this because you're dealing with children. So that cost is more then $100, like one-time live scan, and they've gone up to, I believe, in and around $60 to $90 per live scan. It could be more now, but that's a hard cost. You can't get around it. So because the DOJ charges a price, and the FBI charges a price, and then also the operator who's scanning you charges. So that has to be kind of built in that model. Security is so important when you're dealing with children, especially disabled children. But I love the idea. Parents need this. Parents who have children with disabilities, they don't get out much. There's one person that comes to mind that has a nonprofit called Able Advocates. Her name is Katrina O, is her surname. You need to talk to her about this because
She's our mentor.
Terrific. I think I set you up with her.
Yes.
But she is the person to talk to. I'm glad I believe you had a meeting last week with her, correct?
We've been having multiple meetings with her.
Perfect. She is the perfect person to talk to about this. And I just love the business. I love that you're doing this for parents with children with special needs. I commend you for that. This is awesome. This could be something that could open up so many opportunities for your potential business or for your business. So I really want you to pursue this. This is a need that everyone needs, but there has to be security, training checks, and also on your platform, you need to have, hey, this is how many hours this person has worked with special needs. This is where they work. This is how many years they've been doing this, and also references. That is so important because I have 2 children. I will always reference. I want as many references as I can call or at least contact, so I know the person is legitimate and know what they're doing. So just some things to think about when you're moving forward with this. But I love what you're doing and good job.
Yeah, I want to speak on your guys' brand. Like the brand identity is so consistent throughout the slides. I just love the character that it has. And I think that's something really strong you guys have going for it. It's very welcoming, and when dealing with the care of your own children, you want something that's not immediately going to be jarring. Something that's going to make it seem a little too corporate. This seems a little more friendly and inviting. I do speak on the sentiment of the name as well, where it's just a little bit off, where that brand identity is so consistent and the name just kind of confuses me as to like, I need to be explained as to what exactly it stands for, which is give and take in some business models, but I do just want to commend you for the consistency you have with how it works. A trend I'm seeing with the presentation is just navigating that platform base where what benefit am I getting in not just going directly to the contractor in question, which would be the babysitters for your guys' model. A different direction you guys should take is contracting these babysitters and basically compensating what they would charge to just be committed to your platform, thus removing the option and having some sort of contract basis maybe, where removing that option where, well, if you want this caliber of babysitter that's catered to the needs of your child, we're the platform for you, and this is what you want, right? There's obviously variables in that equation, just to kind of remove that need or variable option of somebody just saying, well, let me just deal with you directly, and you won't even have to give them that 15% or whatever the number would be that you guys have to take to make some kind of profit. That's all I really have. I just think a lot of those things, you have all the pieces of the recipe to kind of be successful in this field. It's a welcoming brand. You guys are dealing with the right people as far as mentorship goes. I just think really nailing in what's going to make us something that is unavoidable for people with this need. How can we dominate this market? But other than that, you guys are very well organized. The presentation was informative, and great job.
Thank you.
I think you could own it more, or you could own it less on what you're offering. By saying that, what I'm trying to indicate is, and I'll give an example. There's been a high-end nanny, high-end. She interviewed, and she wasn't supposed to say who all she was interviewing with in the nation until she was relieved of that placement agency. But she interviewed with Zuckerberg, who's the founder of Facebook. She actually was a nanny to a huge motivational speaker, Tony Robbins. She stayed in these homes, she lived in these homes in nanny quarters, she did all kinds of things, and some of them had special needs. My point is, in owning it less, you could actually connect with like an agency. That agency is huge and does huge work all over the nation. You could offer to assist and be an augmented service that will offer to them because you have time to possibly do that. And that would be like gearing up on your multimedia side and having videos, backgrounds, all kinds of stuff on these people so that others could scroll through them and say, oh, here's somebody that we think might be a fit for us. A babysitter is a little different than a nanny, and then a nanny becomes like a part of the family and is around on all kinds of things, even trips. And sometimes they want their child to go on a trip, but they lose all the joy of the trip because their child's special needs, and they can't get away to have a little bit of fun on the trip. So a nanny accompanies them, in this case, a special needs babysitter. So I would say that, or I would say go all in and try to become the place that people go to and overcome the others that offer similar services that are not seen. They get mentioned by agents and people that are high-level elite. I don't see how you're going to break this down into an everyday ma-pa, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot home with an average median income of $85,000. I don't see where it'll fit unless you can also solve for X on how they can pay for it and have good babysitting help. And because they have a special needs child, are they giving funds from the state, from the feds, to help support them paying for it, and then increase the rate of the services, increase all of it. Once you can determine how the money can be provided, then you would see where you fit and how much of that you can crack to be yours, and what your services can be offered. I would just say there's more. You guys did a beautiful job on your presentation, beautiful slide show. Sorry that the computer did that. You're not the first one today that happened to. But I think you can keep ideating and come up with some things. And as I've offered to a few others, I'd be glad to get an hour consultation and talk a little more. Thank you.
Yeah, well, the only thing I was worried about was just, like what Minda a few said about being, it feels like being known. What happens when, where do you guys complain once, they don't go to you guys anymore, they just go directly to you. And I just thought about this right now, just, what if you guys were, I know the service is a match made, but what if, so I'm trying to think, how can you make money off not just the supplier side, but the brand side too? Hey, we are the platform, you come to us, and then they come to us too. I just get afraid that, when you match make them, it's like, you're gonna, at some point, you're going to get out of the equation because the special needs, I'm sure it's a small niche, and it's untapped, but I don't know if, I just get worried that you guys might get phased out if they directly just interact and then work you guys out. That kind of makes sense. I don't know how, I just get worried about how you
Makes sense to me.
revenue once this transaction is done. Because will this babysitter, now go to you guys to go find your, demand? Or is now the client say, oh, I know this person, who babysits for mine. Let me ask them if they know people. And now you're out of it. Where are you going to get that money? That kind of makes sense.
Airbnb, I wish you've ever read Airbnb. It's very difficult for you to get around them. Very difficult. And then you can get flagged and you're unable to use Airbnb. Not that done it. But I had some issues that happened overseas in the Middle East. I was there on vacation and doing some nonprofit work. They make it so you have to use them. You have to return to them. Even if you meet the person, the only way you're going to get it is if you've already used them one full time and somehow everybody's willing to violate it. Problem is, you have to pull off calendar. I think they can protect that. That's what I'm saying. I think they can probably protect that. It's going to be coding. But you guys got $40,000 written into coding, so I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to get to that. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. They're looking at it.
What is your response to that?
I think that's a very good idea. We're not really sure how we're going to do that, but the more we look into it, we'll figure out how we're going to get into those ways, into finding what you said, like the Airbnb. We would look more into that over time.
I will say, to add to that, it's the right, as a parent, that's the right type of problem to have. I've met somebody through your platform. He or she is trustworthy. They pair well with my kid. It's a match. We're going to continue to use him or her. We're just not going to use your service. So that's a great problem to have, as opposed to other platforms like Care.com several years ago had issues with verifying the credentials of some of their providers, and kids were killed. And that's, from a branding perspective, I mean, that's akin to, the side of your airplane falling off in flight. So that's the right problem to have. So if the problem is them going off platform because it's a fit, that's good. You still have to work around that. It doesn't help the economics. But that's the right problem to have, as opposed to negative provider, horrible outcome for parents. But that, when you work in this industry, those are the kind of risks that you're dealing with. Because there's nothing more precious than the airplane you fly on or who's watching your kids.
Well, overall, you guys did excellent work. Everybody already gave you their advice, so my advice to you is add your babysitters' profiles and what educational elements they offer to these babies or children, because at the end of the day, as a parent, I want to know what the babysitter can do to, while my child is with them, right?
So our website does provide that. It's just in low, so we can't really give a rundown to how that works. But we do provide each bio that a babysitter has will provide what they will give you to each parent. So that's how the parents will know what they're searching for.
Thank you, SBS.